Hey guys, Kicks Reason is here, coming at you with another passionate review. And no, it's not a Nike. Sorry, just a box of Nike, but inside is a shoe that is one of my personal, I would not call it a grail, but one of my favorite sneakers of all time that I've been chasing for such a long time. And I was just recently able to obtain from eBay. But let me go ahead and open it, and while I do that, I will tell you all the story. And this is how they were shipped in a Nike box. So at least there's no OG box on them, but at least the seller gave me a box and I just put them in a plastic bag. And bam! As you can see, we have a classic, absolutely amazing classic Reebok on deck. The Insta Pump Vertical 4 in this amazing black, white, and royal and yellow colorway. And guys, this is the mid version of the Vertical 4, being part of the Above the Rim line. I think the Vertical line was probably one of the best, if not the best line of sneakers that Reebok created in early 90s. My personal favorite right after the Omni line, and this 4th edition is probably again my favorite among all the 5 that came out. Very hard to find a well-preserved pair. This one is not in the best shape. Luckily for me, at least, I got it for very cheap, 40, I think around 40 or below $40 shipped. They're gonna stay as a display pair in my collection. Not only they're really not wearable because of the hole upper. I'm going to show you close up in a little bit. It's starting to peel off, and this is what happens with nubuck, synthetic nubuck over time, especially the one that it's not stored properly. I mean, even if you store them properly, mine are always almost pristine. My other pairs, which I'm gonna sneak into this video real quick for comparison. But if you have not taken a good care of them, they're going to even get destroyed even faster. And this one is not in the best shape, but the shoe overall, it's in very good shape, and it's a great display piece that I can show you guys and put it in my collection. Now a little bit of backstory on the Vertical. Starting from the 1 all the way to the 5. A ton of players from the NBA wore back in the day. Pretty much everybody that had Reebok contract and not their own signature shoe wore those. There was a ton of versions of all the Verticals, from low to mid to high to the ones without the pump. I think they had a different name for these, but this 4th one came for the season 94, 95, and I remember 2 of my best friends actually bought them, this exact same colorway, and this is the colorway that came out first. And at that time we were all Orlando Magic fans because of Shaq and Penny and all those guys, and this colorway was just absolute killer. Everybody wanted to have it. Of course, at that time I didn't have the money. I could not afford it. The first Reebok I bought at that time was a basketball model called Spectre SD, but didn't have the pump or anything. I loved that one to death, but I could never reach these. They were a lot more expensive because of the pump system in addition to everything else. So the story, those 2 of my friends, 2 of my best friends had them. One was my classmate, and I get to kind of watch that shoe every day in school and dream about it. And then later they disappeared. The 5th generation came, and then after that slowly Reebok started to decline, unfortunately. And these amazing basketball shoes were never retroed, and I don't believe they will ever get retro because of this. Not only the sale of the Above the Rim branding that Reebok did about 10 years ago, but at the same time, just the desire in the market of Reebok is declining, unfortunately. So more and more models are being scrapped. But anyway, let's go back to this amazing shoe. Let me show you what I'm talking about and see how the nubuck, the synthetic nubuck, the coating is peeling on top of it. That goes pretty much everywhere in the whole upper. It's one thing about these and the 3 the vertical 3. The midsole is done in polylite, and polylite is an interesting mixture between polyurethane and kind of a phylon mixture, so they can last forever. Basically, these will not crumble, they will not deteriorate, they will not disappear, do any of that crazy thing. So the midsole is firm and nice, like the way they were released 20 some years ago, 22 now, yeah, 22 years ago. And this giant logo in the bottom, clearly those have been worn, but this logo was amazing. And of course the top-loaded hexalite, which everybody loved at that time when they came out with that, because we were no longer afraid when you step into some glass or something sharp, you're not going to pop your hexalite cells or anything like that, with a hexalite branding right here on the heel. So amazing shoe. The detail going in this shoe is just absolutely mind-blowing compared to today's sneakers. They don't do these kind of details anymore. To be honest with you guys, all the overlays, all the design ideas in them, and this particular feature I love back in the day when they came out with it, where the midsole kind of dips a little bit lower towards the front, towards the toe box, and then it raises up again where the stitching is on the toe. I absolutely love that. I mean, look at the design, look at the detail on that midsole. That is absolutely amazing. They don't do them this way. And you have your obligatory netting here for better ventilation. That was one of the signature things on the vertical series. The moderately sized vector logo, which is great. In the back you have this Reebok logo with above the rim strap, of course, and kind of a detached heel notch, which kind of links in with the ton. And the pump system here is only the midfoot section, and you guys know that I have the high version of this shoe, where it's full foot, pumping the midfoot and then pumping around your heel and on both sides. And those were very, very expensive back in the day, even more expensive than these. Size 9.5, obviously, not my size. The inner liner is just amazing on these. They don't make these kind of inner liners. I wish you guys can touch it. It's just absolutely plushy and amazing. Even the logo inside, let me see if the camera picks it up. The old style above the rim logo, it's present. And let me pull the paper out and the whole insole and show it to you guys. I don't know how clean it is or how dirty it is or whatever, but I'm glad that the logo is still preserved. And you see how perforated the insole is for better ventilation, and how thick it is actually. This is polyurethane insole, very thick. Sometimes those crumble. This one is in a pretty good condition. I don't see any crumbling in it. Reebok logo, imitating hexalite pods on the bottom. Very, very soft, very supportive, very comfortable. I have to say, it's definitely one of the most amazing insoles that we used to get from Reebok and from other companies. Let me put it back in the shoe. So unfortunately, like I said, it's not my size and not the state that I can wear, but nevertheless, I think they're amazing. This is absolutely part of a classic line and classic time on the NBA. And those of you that are around my age remember where everybody was rocking these shoes all over the NBA. Including many players, including Nick Van Exel wore them, and Rick Fox wore them, and I mean, who else? Everybody that was in a Reebok contract wore those. So absolutely amazing. One thing to really mention and to do a comparison with the new models, how easily these pumps work. I mean, it's absolutely mind-blowing to me how shoes that are over 20 years old can function with such ease. Just look at the pump. No effort at all. Smooth and nice. You can see and hear the air just coming into the air chamber, and then pressing that Insta-Pump release valve. Just amazing. It's simply amazing. Why is Reebok not able to replicate the same pump chambers in the newer models? It's just absolutely mind-blowing. And the other thing, of course, being the hexalite. This is the real hexalite. Soft, responsive, nice, and not all that stuff that they're putting in today's models and calling it hexalite. So real quick, putting that to the side, and just want to bring into my vertical 3 and show you some similarities of both. Those are the mid versions, of course, and you can see the design language is kind of carrying with the 3, and then of course with the 1 to 2. Unfortunately, I don't have 1 and 2. They're very hard to find, especially in a state that they're well preserved, because they're now close to 25 years old. So it's hard to find a preserved pair. This 3, it's probably, that you're seeing in my hands, is probably one of the, or if not the most preserved pair in existence out there. Again, polylite midsole, soft and responsive, no grumbling, no cracking, nothing like that. You have a real genuine leather on the toe box covered with that Nubuck. Unfortunately, the Nubuck with time starts to crumble and crack. This one is still in a pretty good condition, but I kind of noticed a tiny crack here, because I wear these around the house just to keep them, keep the glue bonding, keep them preserved, because if you wear them a little bit, they last longer. Now, I'm not going to wear them outside and destroy them because they're too valuable for me, but regardless, I just want to show you, how preserved these are. And look at the Nubuck, and I'm pinching it and trying to break it. No cracking, no crumbling, nothing like that. Where if you look at this one, if I go to the same section and I try to pinch it, you'll see how it crumbles and cracks. And this is because it's dry and it's not being preserved in a very good conditions. But look at the toe box. These lines, they transition from all the previous models, from the 3, from the 2. That was one of the signature things for the vertical line. And then you have the above the rim logo right here on the first lace loop, which is all carried throughout the models as well. Similar to the side, the logo is kind of similar as well. And then you have this the heel, which is, again, you have a bigger logo on the 3, and you have above the rim pull tab, which is great. And this heel corner is not detached like this one, so a little bit different, but at the same time. And this, of course, is my size, and it's absolutely amazing that I can wear these and have them 22 years later. And the pumps are different. Here on the 4, Reebok started around at 94, 95, 96. They started making these softer neoprene covered pump chambers, where on the 3 we still have the rubberized basketball looking alike pump. Again, very easy to pump, fully functioning today, just simply amazing. And of course, with the 3 we have the name of the shoe right here, Vert 3, which short for vertical 3. On the 4 we don't have that at all. Outsoles, I kind of like the 3 more, and you can see the detail on the 3 right here, the logo the above the rim, hexalite, how big it is, and soft and responsive. Absolutely amazing. I mean, I love this shoe. It's probably one of my favorite in my collections because it's so well preserved, and it's such an amazing piece of history. Obviously, some of you know Shawn Kemp rocked them during the All-Star game before he received his signature Kamikaze line. That was back in 93-94 season when he rocked these an exact same color, the black and white. Such a significant and an amazing shoe for me. I absolutely love it. But let me put it to the side and bring in the high version of the 4. So there it is. You can see how much of a difference in the height is. Well, actually, let me put it in the back. It will be easier for you to see. About an inch, I would say, inch and a half. The heel is a little bit different on the high version, and this is my pair, which is absolutely preserved, and you can see no cracking, no nothing. The Nubuck is fresh. It is flawless. Same goes to the toe box here. No misperfections or anything like this. And this is the logo on the bottom. You have nice and clear hexalite. This is a TS pair that is part of my collection. Absolutely love that. But the mid version of this shoe, the vertical 4, is my favorite of the whole line. Followed by the high version, obviously. And this pump chamber here is just absolutely amazing. Pumps the whole shoe around you. It's Definitely feels like a hug around your feet. I don't think that Reebok can do that anymore these days with all their retros. It's not the same. I don't know who they're using for their pump chambers, but it's absolutely mind-blowing to me why they're not, replicating how it was. And look at the similarities of these. Obviously, this is just a black and white pair, and this is the one with the royal and yellow. But yeah, I think these lines were one of the most significant and amazing in the years in the past. Unfortunately, we're never going to see a retro, at least not in my lifetime, I don't think. But I knew that this shoe is not going to be in perfect condition, and yet I still bought it. Yeah, it was cheap, but then I cannot wear it. It's going to be just part of my collection. Many people will be like, "Oh, well, why are you buying it?" This is we get caught in nostalgia. This is how nostalgia works. This is what my internal feeling is. I chase the same thing where junkies or heroin junkies describe. They chase that first hit, the first time they saw the heroin, they hit the heroin, and they describe it like they're always trying to find the same feeling after that. Same thing is with sneakers. Same thing is with everything else that you have nostalgia with. You're trying to chase that first time you saw that sneaker. You try to chase that feeling, how you felt and thought about it, and you wanted them for such a long time that you want to get them. And 20 some years later, you stumble upon them, you grab them, and you have them in your collection, and you still want to feel the same way. It's different. You're never going to feel the same way, but at the same time, it's amazing to have these shoes, and just look at them, just hold them in hands, and be part of my collection. I'm so excited about these, despite the state of their not wearable condition, obviously. But regardless of all that, I still love them, and I will always be passionate about those. And I hope I'm gonna see a pair one day that's predominantly white, because these were made in huge numbers, and the ones that are white, they're using a full grain leather. And the full grain leather does not age as bad as the synthetic Nubuck. So if you find the white base pair, they will be fully wearable, and they will be preserved, and they'll basically can be worn for a long time. If of course we find them sometime in the future. I don't think I will be able to find them, but yeah, you never know. I keep looking on eBay. The one that didn't have the pump back in the day, was just called Team Vertical, and it was kind of like a lower grade, obviously minus the pump, but still a lot of players prefer that and play with them. So they were super popular. This season, 94, 95, these were probably the most worn and popular Reebok sneaker out there on the courts. And again, my favorite among the vertical line. And that's about it, guys. I mean, I can rumble about it all day long. Sorry about the lengthy video, but I really love these shoes, and I want you to know the history and see how they look, and see everything through my eyes, how I saw it, and how passionate about them I am about them, and how much I love them. Again, thank you for your patience. Thank you for the support. And until next time, guys, you have a wonderful day.